Hello, everyone, and welcome to Grip Locked. It is World's Week.
Whoop, whoop.
World's Week.
Whoop, whoop.
World's Week. If you didn't know, it's World's Week, and World's is in our backyard, Lynchburg, Virginia. So we've
in
got
this alleyway back here.
We've got a heck of busy week coming up, and I'm gonna walk you through what that means for you. First off, what it means is since World starts on Wednesday, we normally do our Grip Locked on Monday, and then we do a preview show later in the week. That preview show would be happening tomorrow. And there wasn't a lot going on the weekend before Worlds. There was like a A tier in West Virginia and stuff like that, but there wasn't a lot like to really dive into. So instead, we're just merging the preview show and Grip Locked into today's episode.
Nice.
That also, because then later this week, we'll go over this in a second, but later this week, you'll also be getting daily preview shows of the rounds. So you're still going to get preview shows, just not tomorrow. Yeah. But we still have to cover some stuff. So how we're going to do it is we're going to cover mainly up front the Lonestar drama that went down over this past weekend. We'll do a little Trevor's trivia, and then we'll jump into our full Worlds preview where we can give you a lot of insights because we're on the grounds. We're here.
What up?
And by here, I mean home.
We live here. Ha 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 ha. Nothing.
We moved our whole studio.
There is nothing better than being able to attend an event like this, and it wraps up, and you can just drive home like a couple minutes, and then like even when the whole thing's over, just like there's no traveling involved for us. We just drive right home.
I also yesterday I got to go to the GK Pro Skins. Mm-hmm. Normally I wouldn't be in town for it, and I was like, it was free to attend, so it's a 10-minute drive.
You saw their skins.
I drove over there, walked a little bit.
No spoilers.
Left early.
Oh, so you don't even know?
Don't even know. Because I was walking with my son, and again, it's not like I drove hours to go watch this thing. I was
popped in real quick.
It was hot. Luca woke up from his nap. I was like, let's go home. Deuces.
Just Lynchburg.
That's awesome. You're like, I don't have much invested in this, so it's okay for me to leave.
Exactly.
If you didn't move here in preparation for Worlds,
what are you even doing?
That was pretty silly.
Okay.
That is kind of silly.
Well, before we get into the show, let me thank today's sponsors. Today, the leader in male grooming at Manscaped are helping us spice up the hair care regimen on your head with something fresh. Ooh. And no, it's not a new razor or ball deodorant. Get ready for the game-changing new Scalp Buffer by Manscaped.
Let's go.
Let's break down why you need to add this to your hair care routine. First things first, check out the silicone bristles, right? They're 100% antibacterial, no more germs hitching a ride on your head. The bristles gently exfoliate your scalp, and the products help reduce flaking caused by dry skin and buildup. One of the coolest features of it is that it's designed to stimulate blood flow to your hair follicles, which you know what that means, increased blood flow equals healthier hair. The bristles also enhance shampoo penetration for more foam and less product use. It's not just about feeling good. A better lather means a better cleaning power. Oh. That means your shampoo lasts longer, so you can save that extra cash for more important things like a new video game or sports tickets, or in my case, PS5.
Hit 'em with it.
Or VIP tickets to Worlds.
Or VIP tickets to Worlds. You can also pair it with the 2-in-1 shampoo and conditioner from Manscaped. That's what I use every single day.
Oh, yeah.
For the ultimate hair care routine, these products are designed to work together, giving you the hair, the nourishment, and strength that it needs. And let's not forget about the relaxing scalp massage it also provides. After a long day on the course, using this feels like a mini spa treatment. It's just a great way to unwind and take care of that scalp. Simply put, the Scalp Buffer is your scalp's secret weapon. It's antibacterial silicone bristles. Keep your scalp healthy.
There you go.
I almost made it through the whole thing.
You did, and it was
Maximizes
good.
Shampoo performance, gives you a soothing massage, kicks bacteria to the freaking curb, and stores away like a champ. Your hair routine just got a serious upgrade. So take your scalp from zero to hero with the Scalp Buffer and get 20% off plus free shipping with the code GRIPLOCKED over at manscaped.com. Again, that's 20% off and free shipping with code one word GRIPLOCKED and manscaped.com. Shout out Manscaped.
I think they do. I can't remember if they've come out with this yet. I think they did like a head shaving thing, and so I think in a few years that's probably going to come. I'm really going to feel that ad read.
There you go.
A lot handy.
So Lone Star back in the news over this disc golf news over this past weekend.
Yeah, it's on CNN this morning.
So Chandler Kramer posted, I believe it was on Instagram, and he essentially, I'm gonna cut out this one paragraph from his caption that I think's the most pertinent part here.
One
he said,
paragraph. How long was the post?
Multiple
paragraphs.
Just
wow.
know that.
It was like an Idlewild recap.
Okay.
So he said, a few days before the event, that's Idlewild, a few days before the event started, Lone Star called me and informed me that they were cutting ties with me. A few hours before my round started on Friday, I received a text informing me that the van that I had been living/traveling in this season was going to get returned to Houston. Since I was no longer on the team, it makes sense. However, because of this, it meant I was going to be stranded in Kentucky with all of my things. I spent the weekend trying to figure out what to do and get plans in place so that I wouldn't be stranded. So here's what I did. And then he goes on and explains how he basically put his stuff I think it was like his aunt's house until he could figure out a flight home, blah, 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 all that stuff.
Wow.
Bought himself a van. Now he's basically free from Lonestar, all of that. So I obviously read that and immediately was like, okay, Lonestar, that's pretty scummy. But, two sides to every story. So this is kind of like the public context, which we also have. It's now public, but was, I think, originally private. The context Lonestar gave to their team, which is a little bit different than this. But this is someone posted this on Facebook. It said, Chandler is spinning the story just a little bit. Some of the timeline's accurate, but to say that he was stranded is an exaggeration at best and honestly a lie. We offered that he could bring the van back, and he said he didn't feel like we were owed that, so Robert Burridge had to go out of his way to bring the van that Chandler had been using for months as a mixed bag player. Hopefully that helps paint us in a better light. Sheldon Jefferson, events and team coordinator, Lonestar Discs. Good old Sheldon. So obviously, like I said, there's basically three sides to every story is how I always have heard it, right? There's his side, her side, and the truth.
What kind of shape is that?
Here, there's Chandler's side, Lonestar side, and the truth.
Pyramid.
So
That's
now,
4.
this is what? No,
because there's a bottom, right? I guess it's not a side.
A pyramid
it's a
is
bottom.
not. Oh,
a triangle has 3 sides, Trev.
Right.
Yeah, and a
Okay.
pyramid doesn't have 4 sides.
Well, if
No.
you count the bottom, it does, right? I'm not crazy, right? If you put a pyramid in like...
Pyramid has 5
okay,
sides.
a pyramid would have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sides.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Glad we're through
just making-
5th grade geometry.
Wait, doesn't have 5 sides?
Yeah.
Yes, it would
dog.
if you count the bottom.
I thought...
1.
Put your hand...
You're already doing it wrong. Nope, still doing it. There it is.
Does it have to be like that?
That's how
Look up a pyramid right now. Give me the visual.
Wait. Maybe. Yeah, that's how the pyramids are. They have 5 sides.
Just look up 3D.
I think it can be 4 sides, maybe.
1, 2, and then there's 3, 4. I mean, if you count the bottom, it's 5.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I just needed the visual. I just knew it was more than 3.
Grip
Doesn't matter.
locked. You
Anyway,
just got grip locked.
So look here. I've talked to Chandler. I've seen more context from Lonestar. There's obviously more to this story than like these are both sides like bare bones. But this is what I'll say. Right? Is this isn't the first time we've seen, because also in addition to Chandler, I believe Leah Senegeni was also dropped this weekend. I haven't really heard. I believe that I saw on social where she like wasn't doing social posts or something like that. But I haven't really heard much around her story. And then I heard
a lot of chatter in
over
the
this
Facebook
weekend
groups,
recently that Carter Aarons has also left. Whether or not he was dropped or left, I don't know.
Interesting.
I
didn't know
don't know if that one's public yet or not. But so I've heard several people are like kind of out from Lone Star. Here's what I will say from perceiving this whole year. Obviously, I've talked to different people, so like there's different stuff that I know beyond it, but from just a perception wise, and I think a lot of you at home probably feel this way too. You only get to say, here's what actually happened, but so many times before I start to go, okay, but if you have to keep saying, well, here's the true story, maybe you are the problem. And I think that's kind of the boat Lone Star's in, right? Like story 1 that comes out against you, and you're like, no, here's what actually happened. They're trying to paint us in a bad light.
Well,
okay,
yeah,
fine. Like that's fair, right? Like someone's gonna like when someone leaves a team or someone gets fired from a job or someone leaves a job, whatever. Like that's fair. Like some stuff's gonna come out and they're gonna be upset. But this is time 4 or 5, I think, this year, somewhere in there.
Yeah, I don't.
And so to me, I'm like, I tend to lean towards believing Chandler's story a little bit more than Lone Star's, only because Lone Star's had to try to cover their tracks multiple times.
Yeah. And
several of the stuff, every time they try to cover their tracks, the person who they're covering the tracks of keeps going like, that's not true.
Well, yeah, the interesting thing is, they certainly have not had any amicable departures from their company, which is the tough look. Now, I will say this. All the departures they've had have been non-mutual for the most part. It's been like, you have to leave. And so the person who's forced out is not often going to paint that person in a good light, regardless of what happened. But with that being said, I've heard enough things that make me think that maybe 2 things can be true, that some of the people that were let go, maybe it was right for them to be let go, maybe. But then also, I don't think they handle things very well.
I was going to say, that's what
I don't think they have very good HR.
Because even, and I think Chandler would be completely fine with this being public, but he was very clear that him getting let go, he did not care about. Like that like he even said, that's completely fair. Like there was stuff in my contract I wasn't doing, that's fair to let me go. he was upset about how it was handled after.
Yeah,
basically, in his mind, again, Lonestar claims this isn't true, but in his mind, he was stranded in Kentucky and not really given an option.
They seem pretty scorched earth.
That to me is like, they definitely, I don't know. In my opinion, you don't have to try hard to treat people right. Like there's pretty typically like well, this is the right thing to do, like just because he's a person, like he's another person. So like this is, even if someone's done you wrong, you still have a like basic level of respect to show people. Now there's some cases where that's not true, where it's like, hey, I got to cut the ties and I got to cut it hard, and there's like a good reason. But in most of the cases that I've seen so far, it's been like they go scorched earth when it was over a small thing, and it's like, okay, but in Chandler's eyes, you left him stranded like 17 hours away from home on like 2 days notice while he's trying to play a tournament.
Seems
like I mean, in my mind, after Idlewild, you got a week off before Worlds, right? That's plenty of time to be like, hey, look, Robert Burridge needs to be the one to drive the van back because of he's still on the team, you're not on the team, whatever. Play Idlewild. A, I'm not telling him till Monday, right? Let him play Idlewild, then tell him.
Yeah.
B, if you're going to tell him on Friday, like, hey, play the tournament. We'll figure out the details on Monday to figure out, does Robert need to drop you off somewhere halfway? Does Robert need to take you somewhere, like, to the airport, whatever? Like, there's plenty of ways that this could have been figured out.
Yeah.
That it wasn't. Now, Lonestar in their, like, post to the Ranger team made some claims that they did offer a bunch of that stuff. Chandler's responded to a lot of that and saying, like, I don't have any of those texts where it was offered. I think actually they said, had he asked for help, we would have helped him. But it's like, why would...
Oh, yeah.
Like, I mean, why does he have to ask for help? You're the one kind of telling you, like, hey, you're done. I can... Again, there's a bunch of different sides to every story, so you can at least understand Chandler's side of, like, you just cut me. You just told me I'm not driving the van back. Why would I assume why would I assume you're going to help me from get to the airport or whatever?
Yeah.
Like, you basically just, in his eyes, stranded me in Kentucky. So then Lone Star's like, well, had he asked for help, we would have helped. It's like, well, I think you lost that opportunity. So I don't know. Just very interesting stuff that's been going on back and forth on Facebook. You can read a lot more because basically on each of their posts, the Lone Star representatives and Chandler have responded to different comments to give more context from their whole story, so you can kind of piece things together. But regardless,
my verdict is
interesting.
I am over the Lone Star drama.
Yeah.
I'm ready for it to be done.
Well, I can tell you, like, sales-wise, I think a lot of people are.
Yeah,
just viewing.
Got the Ranger team, though.
Yeah, the Ranger team
diehards.
buys Lone Star.
Yeah.
And, that's a lot of people.
We'll see how long they're around.
A lot of people. This did create a very fun meme culture where a lot of people were photoshopping the Lone Star sponsored dog into the Team Lone Star van and being like, the real reason Chandler Kramer was dropped, this dog needed a new home and stuff like that. And it was that's a good time. Those are some funny memes.
Always great memes for Lone Star.
And if you want some Lone Star, you can come into our in-person store in Lynchburg because
There's
somebody on the Ranger team came by and dumped all their discs.
Someone literally was like, I don't know, they just, what Konner just said. Right.
What he said.
What Konner said, dude. Am I right?
Yep.
Is right, boys.
Other announcement, we did a full reaction video to this, but in case you didn't watch that, I do want to just go over it here, which is the 2025 Disc Golf Pro Tour schedule was officially announced. So I'm gonna just kind of go over this more or less. I'll go over some of the key takeaways here.
Yeah, there's like a couple key things.
So we'll hit that. So the season's going to start in Florida again. They're again tentatively calling it the Florida Open. That name, from what I understand, is going to change, but still funny that the Florida Open made a return.
Funny. They keep bringing it back.
So they'll start in Florida. The Texas swing got shorter, so it's only 2 events this time. The Open at Austin became the plus event.
It's so funny because you could literally just say Florida Tournament TBD.
Yeah,
but
they left it at Florida Open. The Open at Austin is now the plus event in Texas, and Texas States has been removed. Obviously, also USWDGC was the 4th event in Texas. That's obviously not happening in Texas again. So 2 events in Texas. The next notable change to the schedule is the Dynamic Discs Open is still happening, just not as a Pro Tour event. It's not on the Pro Tour schedule. I saw them posting that it's still happening, so I think it's still going to try to be a big AM event. I don't know if it'll be on the Q Series. I don't know what their plan is for that, but Dynamic Discs Open, this is the first time in my memory of it not being on tour in some way, shape, or form, whether it be the national tour or here.
Yeah.
So that's really big news. Another notable one missing from this stretch here is the Jonesboro Open. That is also missing. A big addition to it in this stretch, though, is the Kansas City Wide Open, which I know a lot of people are really excited about. So the Kansas City Wide Open's been added. The first major will be happening, Champions Cup out in Stockton, California. There's still time to change that,
I bet Eagles Crossing is fiending to put in a huge skins match right around that time.
That's true.
With the tour coming to
Missouri.
Yeah.
So Champions Cup, obviously with Champions Cup happening at the OTB Open course, that does mean there's no OTB Open, but it's because Champions Cup's happening there. So it's not like that got removed from the schedule. It just got replaced by
first
another
lame major of the year.
Then the Cascade Challenge got added as a full Pro Tour event in Washington.
Saw some people surprised about that.
Yeah. This is the Cascade Challenge is when you start kind of going back and forth with they kept the schedule being this weird back and forth between Europe events and US events for a while.
Yeah.
The other notable change is the Portland Open and Beaver State Fling kind of merged into this Northwest Disc Golf Championship, so it'll be happening at Glendoveer and at Milo.
That'd be sick.
So that'll be a really good time. I think that'll play pretty well. So that's now called the Northwest Disc Golf Championship, so that's a plus event, but that's why you don't see the Portland Open or Beaver State Fling. It's because they kind of merged. The Preserve stuck around. I believe it's actually pronounced the Ale Open.
Ale.
We pronounced it the Ale Open because it's spelled ALE. Easy mistake to make.
Yeah, that says ale.
I feel like whenever, we know it's in Sweden, it probably has a different pronunciation. So, we're going to start with what we know and just not try to just guess at it. And then somebody will tell us, and then we'll get it right.
Which happened.
Yeah.
That's what happened.
Ale Open. The next notable thing you have to pay attention to is they decided there's 2 majors in Europe this year, right? So you have the European Disc Golf Festival happening July 17th through July 20th. And then on July 30th, the next event on the schedule, 10 days later, you have Pro Worlds happening in Finland.
Yeah.
So this is, to me, the biggest failure on this schedule is 2 out of our 4 majors happen in, they're 10 days apart.
Yeah.
And they're back-to-back events. And what really sucks, too, is the European Disc Golf Festival is what replaced the European Open. A, why didn't they still call it the European Open? I'll never understand that. But B, what's going to really be weird is that is where the European Disc Golf Festival happened this year, right, at the Song Festival grounds. That was a really, really cool, course and venue. Venue is where I was looking for. But that being a major, and then we go to Worlds at the European Open courses, the European Disc Golf Festival is just going to be one of those majors you forget.
Oh, yeah.
There's just no way around it.
That's a Mickey Mouse major.
Because the Worlds at the European Open course is going to just feel kind of like 2 majors in one. Mm-hmm. People are going to years down the road refer to that person as a European Open champion and be like, no, that was Worlds that year.
Because that Worlds, that's going to be a legit major win. That's going to be a tough one. And 5 rounds out there, that's going to be sick. But yeah, that one before is going to be really interesting. I kind of wish they had just not done a second European major this year. And at least to make things interesting, it wouldn't be a perfect solution, but maybe go to Japan or Australia again. Just get I don't know, something where you could have spaced it out a little bit.
Well, in my
opinion,
I'm fine with 2 European majors. Just put the first one back at the PCS, July 4th weekend, and flip it. So it's there's a month apart. Because then you have July 4th, and one would start July 4th, go July 6th, the other would end on August 3rd.
It would help a little bit.
It'd be about a month apart. There'd be 2 events in between.
It would help.
That would at least they still would have been close, but they aren't back to back.
Yeah.
Because what also is interesting is if some Ricky got pretty hot over in Europe, right? If you have someone get over there and get hot in Europe, they could win 2 majors easily. They still got to do the work, but it's players get hot for stretches of the season, and that's what makes winning multiple majors impressive. Is typically they should be well spaced out, where you have spring, early summer, late summer, fall. Right. So it's if you won 2 of those, that's really impressive. But when they're back-to-back weekends, it's oh, you just had a really good 14 days of disc golf. Yeah. Which that can happen.
To be fair, it's very rare for people to win back-to-back weekends. Although it has happened, I think, twice this season. So it the right player gets hot, it could be trouble.
Yeah. Now, I understand probably the logic here was well, look, if we're going to have 2 majors in Europe, that's a lot to ask of, a big majority of the field that is U.S. players. So, schedule-wise, let's just put them back-to-back. I can easily see this train of thought and how you got there, but it's if that's what we have to do, our sport's not ready for 2 majors in Europe.
Yeah,
that's my opinion.
Yeah, that's fair.
It's if we have to put them back-to-back weekends to make it work, our sport's not ready.
Yeah, it's not going to be a great for the majors next year. Starting with the Wooded Major being wide open in California, and then back-to-back majors,
in Europe.
Which, like I said, the second of those will be sick, but it'll still have a bit taken from it, just knowing that we just had a major. We're not gonna be hungry for another major.
You also like there, obviously, you know, the most recent major champion reigning isn't really a thing. Like that person holds that title for until the next year, but the person who wins, like let's say someone won their first major at the European Disc Golf Festival, it's going to be forgotten about in about 5 days because now we have to focus on Worlds.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't have time to like Andrew Presnell has had months.
I hope somebody who
until the
has-
European Open of like sitting there as like the current major champ, where like when you're talking about majors, like, oh, Presnell just won.
I
one.
really hope with a major like that, and I'm not trying to like hate on like Estonia or whatever, but it just is going to be a bit of a weird one. I hope that the winner of that major is not a first-time major winner and not like a Ricky or Gannon or Calvin snapping a huge
That'd
streak.
be so classic if Ricky
I know.
won that one.
So I hope it's like somebody who has already won majors that year or has won a ton
It's
of
like a
majors.
Gannon Burr.
Yeah. So that way we can be like, whatever, kind of a weird major, but it just added to their total. Whoop-de-doo. Because like if Calvin wins his first major there, whoa,
that's gonna be toxic.
It's gonna be real toxic.
Yeah, that'll be tough. That'd be tough. So then after Worlds, they have the Turku Open, and then they come back to Ledgestone, and then
back half the season rocks once again.
Yeah, Ledgestone, Idlewild, D-Glow, and then the playoffs start. GMC, normal, MVP Open, USDGC, and then the final big piece of the puzzle, the Disc Golf Pro Tour Championship presented by Barbasol, comes home. Lynchburg, Virginia, baby.
Never been here, but it's coming home.
Oh, no, it's where it
on.
belongs. It's where it belongs. It's welcome home.
That is really exciting.
Yeah, Pro Tour Championship.
It definitely feels like, you know, Lynchburg has now been put on like the Pro Tour map, and like this is gonna happen sometimes.
You got respect.
Yeah. Well, hopefully consistently.
Yeah.
I was talking to
That's crazy.
I was talking to the owner out at Ivy yesterday. I ran into him, and I was like, "Dude, we got the Pro Tour Championship here next year." And he was like, "Yeah, I heard we were getting." Like, I know we were like, they were trying to get a playoff event. I didn't really know what it was going to be. Cause like he comes from the golf world, obviously owns golf course. And so, he's like, now they told me Pro Tour Championship, but obviously it's a chaotic week this week. I haven't had time to look at it. Like, explain it to me. I was like, it's literally like the FedEx Cup, like championship, the final. He goes, oh wow. I was like, yeah. So everyone will be there, biggest purse, and then he like, I could tell he started getting like excited about it. Cause like their first tournament they're hosting's a major. So I think to him it was almost felt like semi downgrade.
Yeah.
But I was like, but field strength wise, like it's gonna have everyone that's like everyone that has a chance to win is gonna be there.
Yeah.
They're fighting for the biggest purse.
That'll
of the
be an
year.
interesting one because like historically that event does not get great attendance.
And that's
so.
what I was telling him too. I said historically it's in Charlotte, and I think that their strategic move up to here was it was USDGC weekend, which is their final major. I said, and then like right after it was the Pro Tour Championship, but they're both essentially in Charlotte.
Yeah.
I was like, so you get the Charlotte fans to travel to both because why not? But people traveling from out of state, like you're picking one
How
or the
far
other.
away is Charlotte from Rock Hill?
Like 30 minutes.
45 minutes.
Because
30 minutes.
I saw people on Instagram all being like, nothing in Charlotte, nothing. I'm like, what do you think USDGC is? That is
I
as
saw
close
that too.
as you're gonna get.
I
Like,
responded to people.
From
I'm
like actual Charlotte, yeah, it's like 30 minutes.
Yeah, that's what
like-
if you live in the Charlotte area, you got to major within an hour.
yeah, come
Like,
on now.
Yeah,
You are so
I
spoiled.
get what they're probably just saying because there's so many courses actually
And they
in
have
Charlotte,
the course
Charlotte.
event though.
Yeah.
So to me, that's what I was saying is like now you'll have people who are coming from Pennsylvania, and you know it takes 3 hours off of their drive if they want to choose the Pro Tour Championship. You know, so you have different, like before you had the same drive for us up here. It's like the exact same drive. Do you want to make that back-to-back weekends? And most people were saying no.
Yeah.
But now that you have one closer, it hopefully hits two different demographics.
Be interesting to see.
So we'll see if it increases the attendance. I have a feeling it will, and I think it was a very smart move. I've been saying that for a while. I thought the Pro Tour Championship either needed to go farther south to like Georgia or Florida or needed to come back up towards us, obviously. And selfishly, I wanted that to happen. So that is what happened. Super exciting stuff. So those are your key takeaways from the schedule announcement. It's time to get into a fan favorite segment of Trevor's Trivia after these messages.
All right. We're just gonna do a quick one. You know.
Love it.
By the way, Ezra Robinson took down the putting championship.
He did.
That's awesome.
That's
like
insane.
Ezra Robinson.
And
a lot.
Scoggins destroyed everybody.
I think Ezra Robinson's one of my new favorite like pros.
The Robinson brothers
I
are
like
incredible.
him a lot.
Yeah.
I think that
the whole vlog squad we've seen so far, Alden and Gavin, haven't seen them yet. Don't have an opinion yet.
Yeah.
Rest of them, awesome.
They all seem awesome. I feel like me and Ezra could be friends, though. That's why I feel like that. I like it whenever I meet pros, and I'm like, yeah, I think we could be friends. Maybe I'll try to be his friend.
You could try.
He lives really far away, though.
Georgia.
But, like, emotionally friends.
Okay. All right. Well, it's World, so we're going to see how far we can guess the world champions. I think we do this just about every year. See how far we can get this year.
Okay.
So you're going to start the most recent, and you only get one strike. So you see how far you go back. We'll do MPO first, and then maybe try FPO as well.
Okay.
All right.
Are Konner and I working together?
Yes.
Last year's was Isaac Robinson.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
I will give you 2 phone a friends, and the phone a friend is where I give you the location.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
2022, Konner, I believe, was Paul Macbeth. Because 2021 was James Conrad.
Yes.
So 2022 was Paul Macbeth.
Correct.
2021 was James Conrad. 2020 tried to trick us, Trev. Was
Cancel.
no worlds.
Yes.
You're not getting us.
2019.
Nobody. Actually, all of us.
Dang.
I was the world champion.
We're all world
That
champions.
was the year that the hurricane canceled it and Big Germ won.
Yep.
Yes. 2019. That's an interesting one, isn't it? 2018 was big. 2019 was Paul Macbeth.
Yes.
Yep.
Was 18?
18 was Greg Barsby.
Correct.
Correct.
Yeah, I knew it was one
17 was Ricky Wysocki.
Yes.
Mhm.
16 was Ricky Wysocki.
Yes.
15 all the way back to 12 was Paul Macbeth.
Yes.
Okay.
We're on 2011.
12 years back already, Con. We're doing great.
of those. Okay.
That's definitely the easy stretch. This is where it
2011
starts to
is
get
tough.
hard.
2010 was Eric McCabe.
Yeah.
Okay.
We had to. 2011 is a tough because 2009 was Avery Jenkins.
Yes.
2011. 2011. Sneaky. You sneaky little year. You. The year before Paul. This is like the 2011 is like the
tricky.
person who got drafted before MJ. You know what
I mean, that's not. Yeah.
like what was his name? Sam something. Like no one
I
remembers
think
it.
it was Sam something. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
No, that was a quarterback for the Chiefs.
See?
Sam Castle.
See, that's how I feel about 2011
I
Worlds.
think.
It's like, well, MJ's coming next year.
I think that was his name.
Is this Feldberg? See 2011 Con?
It feels like it could be right.
Well, because once we get back to like 08, we're getting into DOS era.
DOS territory.
And
yeah.
then once we get farther back, we get into Climo era.
That's what. How many does DOS have?
3.
3.
Yeah. I think 2011's got to be Feldberg.
Okay.
Feldberg.
Is it DOS?
It's DOS.
Oh, that was the most recent one.
Back 20. So you would have made it if you would have got that. You would have got back to 2008. Then it would have been Feldberg, DOS, Climo, DOS, Schultz, Climo.
Feldberg won 08?
Yeah.
Silas Schultz was playing back then?
Yep.
I thought the DOS won 08.
DOS 11 is very tricky. No, DOS's came in. 11 was spaced out because then he won in 07 and I think in 05. So that was kind of his last 2 raw. All right, made it back 2011, but
I'm happy with that.
let's see how we can do with the FPO.
Okay.
Starting with last year.
Grayson Tatar.
Yes.
2022 was. Where was 2022? I don't want to phone
would
a
you like
friend
to
yet.
use
I don't
one
want
of
to use the
your
phone a
friends?
friend. It was
I'm
the
not
other
going to be.
year.
I'll make eye contact with you, Hunter,
Well,
and I'll nod.
can-
but
It was also Kristen Tatar.
Mhm.
She won back to back.
Yes.
2021 was Utah.
Okay.
James Conrad stole the show.
Yes.
Made you forget whoever won FPO.
Uh-huh. Wow. Good
Wow,
rhyming.
good rhyming. For sure, good rhyming.
I think that was
Extra points
Pretty
for
memorable.
Katrina Allen.
Correct.
Yeah, she threw that X3, stuck the island. Paige Pierce choked it away.
Choked an upshot.
Had an
yeah.
upshot from like
Oh,
200
I remember
feet.
that. I remember that.
2020
Crazy
canceled.
world.
So now back to
2020
2019.
Okay. Yep.
2019.
It's FPO is hard.
2019.
Really hard.
Because now Kristen's out of it. Because 2019
Is
was
she
her
gone?
first major. She won U.S. Women's that year, but
Yeah.
she was not Worlds. She's only won twice. We already got both of them. 2019 could be sneaky Paige Pierce. 2018 was Paige Bierkes. Now Paige Shue.
Okay.
Those are both correct.
Oh, perfect. Nailed them.
Nice.
I'll hand it to you.
2018. So now we're at 2017. This is when that was Paige
Okay.
Pierce. She won every other. She won odd years.
That's correct.
Okay.
Paige Pierce. 2016. This should be. It was in Emporia.
Correct.
Because that was Ricky's first.
Hunter's so good at this.
I was there at this one,
Holy
Oh,
frick.
man.
On
but
the
I don't.
ground.
I didn't watch FPO. I was volunteering.
That man was on the ground.
I was filling in mulch at Peter Pan Park for like I forget whoever was playing that. Coach and I were just taking loads of mulch across the bridge because it had rained the night before.
This guy built disc golf. You need to understand that.
Oh.
He laid the foundation for our sport.
Was it Katrina Allen?
That's why they call him Steady Ed Thomas.
Who else is
think
world
that's-
champs? I think it's Katrina Allen. What do you think, Connor?
I think it's Katrina
Allen.
Wrong.
Dang it.
This is the infamous Val Jenkins over from
Oh,
6 years.
dang it.
Oh,
I was
yeah.
that's
Val's
who I was
last
thinking.
one.
Yep.
I won. Valerie, freaking that power couple sneaks into Worlds.
That I was
Valerie Doss and Nate Doss, they sneak up on you.
They gotcha.
there was in my head. I was
You
like,
know, I
who
owe
is
both
the
of them an
name that I'm
apology.
forgetting? And it
Because
was
I forgot both of theirs.
You should apologize.
Valerie Doss, Nate
was a
Doss. I don't know if you'll be
pretty-
in Lynchburg. If you are, coffee on me.
That was a
I owe
pretty
you one.
insane win
Oh.
for Val.
Yeah.
That's nice of you. It'll probably be hot.
Because Paige and Kat had fully
Oh, like
established
you'll pay
dominance
for
there.
it.
Yeah, I'll pay for it.
Okay,
Well, no, if they want to dump it on me, that whatever they do after I buy it, that's on them.
I'd like coffee on you.
Whatever they do after I buy it, that's on them.
Well, no, it might be on you.
It could be on me. Yeah. Hopefully it's in them.
I love it
It
when
could be on
Hunter
me.
goes into Grinch mode.
So Worlds is coming up
I never
Yeah.
realized.
2 days from now. Wednesday.
That's
it starts.
great.
And if
So
you're
we
wanting
don't
to
have to go
watch
anywhere.
it,
We don't have to go
we don't have to go anywhere. But if you also don't have to go anywhere and you want to just sit on your couch and watch it, you can actually use our code, get a little discount on the Disc Golf Network. Watch the World
Ooh, we're the
Championship
discount
go down.
boys.
We're
So
big deals.
you can go over to DGN and you can get 10% off your first month of DGN Standard with FDG 10 or their Pro monthly pricing. You can get 10% off either with FDG 10, or if you're like, you know what, screw it, those Grip Lock boys are right, I should sign up for a full year, then you can get 20% off your first
Holy,
year of
that's
DGN
a-
Standard or Pro
like a
with
legit discount.
FDG 20. That's over 2 months free, 20%
Shoot.
off, right? 20% of a year off.
Yeah, I mean, it's not.
Yeah, you get hecka
it's
discount.
Not
That's
2 months
whack.
free. No, actually, yeah,
Yeah,
it is
it's over 2.
2
It's
months
like 2 point some months because
Yeah,
it's 12
good
months
point.
times 0.2.
Yeah, good point, Hunt.
Math. I was
That's-
an arts major, guys, so I didn't have to take much math.
Oh,
Yeah.
But even I figured
How
that
are
one
you
out.
so good at it then?
Sometimes some people are naturally gifted.
Some people are.
So FDG 20 if you're going for the year, FDG 10 if you're going off the first month. You can find those codes in our description as well. So
Swag.
and you support the show by using those. They're affiliate codes. So if you use them, you help us.
We're gonna be rich.
So
Yeah.
there you go. But Worlds, if you're not at home, you're in town. Let me just run you through really, really fast. We're not going to go into detail. Really fast. What we're doing here this week with Lynchburg. So first off, tomorrow we have a Foundation versus the Nation going down at 12. There's still some spots available, I believe, if you want to get in on that. Super exciting. Wednesday.
What is that? You get to play against us and Brody.
Yeah, us three and Brody. And Styles will be there filming. Wednesday through Saturday, we have an exclusive drop going down at 9 a.m. in-store only. You'll be able to check our Instagram later today to see what those drops are. But basically, there's an MVP one, a Prodigy one, a mixed brand drop, an Innova drop. And then at the Fly Mart on Saturday night is when our exclusive Discraft drop happens. We'll talk about that more in a second.
What up?
Each night, we have something going on. Wednesday night, there's going to be an exclusive Heiser Club event. If you're a Heiser Club member, you'll get more information about that, but it happens at 7:30 p.m. It's going to be a lot of fun. You're going to want to tune in for that.
Super
If you're
exclusive.
not a Heiser Club member, there's still time.
Yeah.
Thursday night, you can find the link to register for this in the description down below. We're having a pizza party disc swap. It's free to attend. You might have to buy pizza if you want pizza, but it's free to attend if you don't care about that. You just bring a disc, you'll get a number, then you give us that number, we give you a different disc. It's that simple. It's a
That's
disc
gonna
swap.
be fun.
How fun is that?
Disc swaps
guys?
are so
Come
fun.
on.
That's going on
I'm
at our
gonna swap
retail
a
store.
disc.
Retail store at 7:30. We'll all be there hanging out too. It's a great time. Again, please, you have to pre-register for that just so we have an idea of how many
There
people
could
are
be
coming.
a bajillion people at that.
So check the link in the description down below. It's free. It's just a Google form that says like, I'm coming. Yes, I might want pizza. That's literally the Google form. But it's just that we have a head count. And then Friday, there's a charity event we told you about last week going on at Timbrook Park. Very few spots left for that. So if you are interested in that, you can play Glow. Very few. There's like literally 6 spots left to raise money for the Isaiah 117 house. Super
Let's
excited
go.
about that.
Sign up for that.
Saturday night, we're doing Fly Mart vending. The first 250 of you that show up to our booth are going to get a free Foundation hat. We'll also have all of us there,
free.
and Brody and Robbie doing a signing. And that's when the exclusive Discraft drop happens. And then Sunday, final day of Worlds, is Foundation merch day. I must say, guys, I was out at the Skins
I'm
event
excited.
yesterday.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Already heck of Foundation hats. and
Really?
stuff. Yeah.
Well,
I
dude,
saw
they're
like
getting warmed
that.
up.
there was a
They're
solid
getting
like
warmed up.
25, 30 of us watching Skins, and I bet 7 to 8 of them had
Dang.
Foundation merch on. I was like,
Getting warmed
oh,
up.
we're about to take this crowd
Wow,
over.
that's
So
crazy.
Sunday though is your day. If you wear Foundation merch, a hat, a shirt, whatever, you get 15% off in store and on course just by wearing Foundation merch.
Dude.
That's right.
That's it.
That's right.
It's that simple.
You can wear your free hat that you got the day
Literally.
before
True.
by being one of the first 200
Literally.
people.
And there's also fireworks going on at the Fly Mart. So
What
another
the-
reason
Get
to show
out
up.
of town.
There is?
There is. There's
That's
a fireworks show at the Fly Mart
That's
Saturday night.
awesome.
pretty
Yeah,
lit.
Ivy Hill's put on a fireworks show.
Dude, that
so.
is sick.
Yeah,
that was a
Ivy
good
is
time.
dope.
I think they
Ivy
should
is
attach a firework to a disc and have Ezra throw it.
That could be
already
fun.
seen that.
And then
Oh yeah, didn't somebody
Someone
do
did
that?
He did that. Or Ezra
It
did
was
it.
Ezra?
Oh,
oh
he did
yeah,
that.
that's what I said. I know somebody did that.
also Sunday morning we're having a Heiser Club exclusive round at 9 a.m. So that's
Shout
again
out.
Heiser Club. You'll get more details, but there's a reason to join the Heiser Club. Heiser Club also gets 30 minutes early access to all of our disc drops. So a lot of good reasons to be a Heiser Club. But that's
it's
what's going on
a
for
good time to be in the
us.
club.
Now let's talk about what's going on at Worlds.
Yep.
Course preview. So they're using New London and Ivy Hill. New London, we've actually got a chance to play in the Worlds layout. First off, new tee signs look fantastic. Really fun.
Yeah, it does look
Also,
delicious.
basket wraps, love it.
Yeah, looks really good.
So hole 1, 2, and 3, obviously we talked through. They took OB out on. That's one really notable change.
New Dirt
They
London.
did
Yep,
add
thank you.
OB
Thank you, Trev.
on hole 9 and on hole 18.
I like
Some
that.
people are saying that makes up for it.
Did they put
OB left and right on 9
Strong-
and OB left and right on
strongly
18.
disagree?
Some people are saying I didn't
Hole
say.
3 still hurts my feelings a lot.
Here's
I like 18
is
though.
a
I
bad-
like 18.
18's a bad
18's
hole.
turned into a bad hole. It's
a bad hole.
because you can't be aggressive really.
I hate 18.
Well, you can't. Well,
Oh, that's
you
true.
can't make
No.
birdie anymore.
You
I
can,
remember
it's just
us having
dumb.
that realization, and I agree.
Yeah. I'll agree that stroke-wise, it probably washes out, but how it plays, I just would.
Well,
prefer it to be
especially
different.
not being a course that you're like last minute making like runs.
Yeah.
And, you know.
It's not a good hole.
Because realistically, in my opinion,
9 they just put it on the
hole
left.
2, I'm okay. Yeah, 9, it's left and right.
which is fine.
Hole 2, I'm okay with the OB being gone. I think that probably makes it a better hole overall.
one's fine.
That's
I'm
fine.
fine.
Realistically, hole 1, whatever. Really prefer OB to be on the right. It's the only defense.
Absolutely.
Hole 3 is where it's really criminal to me because like
That hole's too easy.
it's asking for a left to
yeah.
right turning shot, and the only defense that hole had was OB on the right.
and now you have the two easiest holes in the course back to back as well. 3
Yeah.
and 4.
So the other thing that we noticed is hole 6. They actually made the OB end a lot shorter than where it typically does when you're approaching the green. It just like basically, if you've watched our videos, there's a walking path and a bridge that gets you to the green. The OB comes up short of that, so it's like to the right of that. So it's a little gimmicky there. I don't really like that change, but hole 6 is still has all the teeth in the world. Nothing changes from 7. Nothing changes on 8. Like I said, OB left and right on 9. There's also the OB short, but that's not really going to come into play. It's on the edge of the hill, so you just have to get up onto the hill.
Somebody if somebody does a real bad one, I like
it could come into play, but for MPO it shouldn't really come into play. But it's tight OB left and right, and then from there on it's pretty much the New London until you get to hole 18 and they put OB left and right. In my opinion, they just made it a little too tight, but it is what it is. Now Ivy, this is our first time Ivy seeing it in this format.
I hear it's got teeth.
It's got a lot of teeth. I talked to a lot of pros, and it seems like here's my consensus I've been getting as I've talked to people. The guys who were hoping golf course meant distance is going to give me an advantage are the ones that are like, I don't really know how I feel about it.
Yeah.
The people who aren't like that, who aren't like distance was my advantage, I've heard a lot of really good things. I think there's a few holes that people are like, that's just a bit too much. I saw hole 4 in person yesterday.
Is it insane?
It's a bit much, but one key part of hole 4, you can see it on the map here.
Oh,
Sorry, y'all can't see it on the map, but it is room. So it's an island green technically, but it's a massive island. What they did was essentially hole 4 is a 392-foot island green. But you only have to throw it about 50 feet to cross into the inbound section. And then they made all the left inbounds. They put hay bales protecting the right side of the green. So where the basket is about 20 feet wide spot. Very, very tight if you're going for it. If you come up short of the hay bales, there's a big hazard section there.
Oh.
So you can
still play
putt from there,
Okay.
from the hazard section to save your 3 if you hit the hay bales.
That's not too bad then.
So
Yeah.
it's not too bad. It's not as
like
bad
that.
as I expected it to be.
Yeah, actually
from
looks
hearing
kinda
it. It's definitely a forehand. I saw some backhands that were trying to swing in that were catching the right limbs and stuff. I also saw a hole, I believe it was hole 2 or hole 3 that was playing. They basically, if you watched us play Ivy Hill back in the day, imagine everything you saw tighter.
Yeah.
Like I was watching
That
shots and I
fairway's
had
tight on 3?
very tight.
Oh man.
Very tight.
That was a
'cause
very easy
You can
drive
tell
prior.
the it just matches the actual golf fairway.
'cause it used
they
to
made
be
the rough
really
OB.
easy, yeah.
So what I was watching was Calvin and Ezra Aderhold in the skins match. I'm not gonna go and I don't want to spoil the skins match for anyone because I don't know when it comes out. But I was watching them on this hole, and this doesn't spoil it because it was a push. But they threw shots that, from my perception of the hole, were incredible. Like Calvin Heimberg had like a 60-foot up shot, no joke. Like he was way the crap up there. And then I saw him take his lie, and it clicked with me. He just threw that very far OB. Because before it would have been safe, now it was OB. So that's basically true for a lot of the courses. Like, oh, that was safe before, it's OB now. So it's very, very tight course. It's going to take a lot of really just strategic golf. And I think it's going to play really well. I think it's going to be a course that upsets players, similar to like USDGC, where if you're having a bad round, you're gonna have a bad round out there. I think scoring's going to be it's going to be scoreable, but you have to be on your game to score.
Yeah.
Is how I'm perceiving it playing.
I think it's fun disc golf to watch, though. I'm excited to spectate it.
Let me tell you, it might be one of the most beautiful disc golf courses you'll see.
It's
obviously on a golf course, but what I think they did really, really well is very rarely are you playing up golf fairway or like bunkers come into play here and there, but it's pretty easy on several different holes to forget you're on a golf course.
They stay away from the greens for the most part.
Yeah.
I think that's the key. Whenever
they
you
also
see,
took all the flags out, so since you're not like
Also a very
landing
good
on the
visual.
greens,
Yeah.
you won't really see them.
That's
It like
also a
feels
good
like they
visual.
used a golf property to make a disc golf course, not a golf course to make.
Well,
a
and
disc
to be
golf
fair,
course.
Ivy Hill, if you haven't seen it, is a very unique golf course. It has a ton of elevation, so it does not lay out like it's not Emporia Country Club. It doesn't lay out flat and barren. There's a lot of trees, a lot of hills, so
A lot of water.
Yeah, it provides some very unique shots. It's a fun.
it, feels,
I think
it
it's a
still
fun
feels
course.
like a disc golf course. Which
Well,
is what
I think
like.
the other thing that I like how it plays out is you play the back nine backwards.
Yeah. Right.
So you're a lot of times, if your greens come into play, a lot of times you're teeing near them instead of throwing towards them.
Yeah.
Which that really helps the feel of you forget you're on a golf course.
Yeah.
If you're out there, you obviously realize it because you're walking it. But I'm saying like viewership wise, when you're watching, like you're teeing from the rough a lot of times, there's trees in play, and there's a lot of water in play and stuff like that. And a lot of the greens are like off to the side where they're very far OB. It's very rarely like, oh, the green, like I think there's one or two holes where it's true where it's like the green is the trouble, like right behind it. And that's when it gets to be a little bit like, oh, we're on a golf course, obviously.
Yeah.
So I think Ivy's going to play very well. And the amenities out there for spectators is what really puts it over the top, because you have you have obviously like the VIP tent. I think that the clubhouse yesterday for the spectators for the skins match, the clubhouse was open serving food, so you could walk in there. I grabbed a nice cold Arnold Palmer. That was
hit 'em
big
with it.
vibe increase.
Big vibe increase.
You could obviously, people are ordering grilled cheese. I don't know if that's gonna be open all week, but having someone like actually cooking food, I hope it's open all week because it was
That's
a really chef's kiss over the top. They also
Ooh.
were setting up the big old Discraft tent there that's vending. So
New London's just about set up too.
Yeah.
And I heard they are bringing a big old video screen up top.
they had a video screen up near.
Is that what the deck
clubhouse.
was for?
No, the deck is for VIPs. They had a VIP comfort deck by hole
That's
1.
cool.
Or it's like hole 18. You could it could probably sit 70, 80 people, maybe 100 people under it. A
wow.
big old tent on a raised deck
That's
that you could
sick.
sit there. I also noticed they had several spots where, and I think I saw this at New London too, where they had for cameramen to be elevated.
Yeah.
Good.
And they wrapped it in like bamboo type looking stuff.
Oh, I
So
didn't
Yeah,
know
I'm
nice
this.
little
surprised.
touch.
I'm surprised nobody approached me and asked me what tips I had on filming New London.
That's good. You know where to
point.
stand.
I'm gonna be that guy. I'm gonna walk up to every single like camera operator. I seem like I'm kind of like the guy that films this course, right? Like I filmed this course more than anybody else
I
in
am
the
that
world.
guy. Yeah.
That's hilarious.
I'm just kidding. I'm not gonna be that guy, and I'm not that guy. I don't feel like
You
that.
are. You
You
just
said
it.
you are.
just
I
said
do
you
have
are.
something to say about Ivy. Pros are gonna be like exhausted.
Oh yeah.
Not AB on round 2
That's true.
because I'm gonna be.
It is.
heaving his
I am
bag
You're
around.
gonna
interested
have
because
him on your back.
That's right.
Right now,
That's what it takes.
for practice rounds, they all have golf carts, and Ivy just like last week got brand new golf carts. So like they're driving around in style, like comfy
Lamborghini.
leather
Mercedes.
seats. They looked freaking nice out there. But I am curious, like, what's that going to do to a pro's mental game when you've been driving this course all
Dude,
week?
that's what
and then you
Ezra
gotta
said.
walk.
I would probably.
The skins match, they walked it yesterday. So I'd be
Okay.
curious to talk to like
Yeah.
Ezra Aderhold and Isaac Robinson
say-
and then be like, How was it when you walked?
As long as I'm not holding
Yeah.
people up, I think I would have tried to walk a few days before the event, so I'm rested, but like just to know what to expect.
Because elevation out there is serious.
There's some walks that are no joke.
Which
that par
that's
5
another-
towards the end there, well, there's a couple par 5s.
Because it's long.
I mean,
'cause it's a
even
golf course, but there's elevation.
Hole 5. You're throwing across
That's-
water
well,
up.
that's one
Are
of them,
you
yeah.
allowed to are you allowed to bring like a scooter or like a one wheel? Like, would you be
As a
allowed
pro,
to do that?
no,
on a
you
round?
can't have something that assists your movement.
Okay, that makes sense.
There's a rule in there.
That makes sense.
That
That is an advantage.
It'll be very interesting. But as a spectator, if you're coming out, they have several different shuttle spots. Obviously, the shuttles weren't running yesterday, but that'll be very nice because you can shuttle back and forth to certain parts of the course. Which, because of how the course works, is the whole course loops back to the clubhouse.
Yeah.
But there's not a 9 out and back, 9 out and back. So when you're walking it, once you get out there, you're gonna want to shuttle back, unless you're just bringing stuff for the whole day. But I'm very, very excited. I think Ivy's going to play very well, and obviously you know how New London's going to play. It has been very nice to talk to pros and hear them sing New London's praises.
Yeah, that has felt very good.
Yeah, like people are calling New London I have heard at least 5, maybe more pros now say, I don't understand why Champions Cup's not here.
Yeah.
And I was like,
What it means,
Say it again.
what it means, and I earned a lot of respect, is that the pro players, they know how to see a good, well-designed course without it being like super flashy and having all these water carries, because people freak out over certain courses because of like 3 holes that look cool. New London doesn't have that, but it's a well-designed course, and the pros are loving it. I mean, Gannon said it was upper echelon, like one of his favorites.
he rated it 10 out of 10.
10 out of 10. Yeah.
Dang.
Loves it.
It's like whenever you recommend a band to one of your friends and it makes their playlist. That's what it feels like.
It feels great. Our home course has clout.
Let's get into some storylines here. Speaking of Gannon Burr, obviously he's the favorite coming into this event.
Yeah.
Every 4-round event this year, he's been dangerous at. I believe he's won 4 out of the 5. We have a 5-round event here.
Hey, you better not get any of this information wrong because you know he'll write it down.
That's true.
That is true.
We did also learn something about Gannon, which Gannon, I know you're listening right now. He watches Grip Locked and he screen records everything we say wrong.
And then sends it to his friends.
He sends it to his friends. We said
To be
that,
fair, we've said some things that are like wrong, and it's like, yeah, that was misinformation. Like that's on us.
But
and then there
sometimes
was
it's
one
slightly wrong.
The
and
one
doesn't-
that he showed us was we said Calvin was 27.
no, I
and
think it was Eagle. One of them was
Eagle.
Eagle is 27 and he's 26. And we're like, oh man, dang, we really threw everybody off the scent there.
Yeah. But we did say in the off season we're probably gonna have a segment called Burr Burns.
Burns
Burns, where he just sends us our.
We'll read the
he
entire
corrects
list,
us.
yeah.
Because he has a note apparently of all of our.
He's going to
mistakes.
start making one, is what he said.
Yeah, so
We'll
I'm
read
excited
them
about
all.
that. But Gannon Burr, his game, I talked to him yesterday. He said his game is feeling very good. He in mixed doubles played New London very well.
He might win
overall.
by 10. He might win
So
by
he's
10.
definitely the favorite. Yeah, I mean,
He might
I don't
win by
really know what
10.
else to say.
Yeah, he might win by 10.
Game-wise, I think that there's other players that will obviously contend. It's a world championship that brings certain players in. We're going to talk about here. Gannon hasn't won a Worlds, but Gannon's not he's won USDGC. He's not one to shy away from the big moments.
Yeah.
He just won a European Open not long ago, weeks ago.
He could have 3 out of 4 of the majors at age 19. Hope that's right. And then next year, the Champions Cup goes to a course that is pretty wide open. So he'll have a chance for the career Grand Slam at age 20.
Yeah, because he was saying
Hope that's right.
he loves OTB Open.
Yeah.
He just didn't play good there this year because his game just was
Yeah, but I
off.
mean,
But
I think he could win this event by 10.
it could be.
Dang.
He could run away with it. Selfishly, I hope he doesn't. I hope he wins, but I
Yeah.
hope it's close.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
for
want it to be
entertainment.
exciting
Yeah.
on Sunday.
Uh-huh.
Another player that is going to be very hungry this week is Ricky Wysocki. He's been, just heating up as the seasons went on. I definitely think he's dangerous at both of these courses. Like I said, Ivy's both of them are very play golf, play placement, be strategic, and I do think that Ricky's gotten a lot better at that as his careers went on. If his putter gets hot, I think he could be very dangerous out here. What do you think that one course over the other is more suited for Ricky's game, or what do you think?
Not really. I honestly, he's successful at a lot of different courses. Historically, a pretty good player at WR, and people are comparing New London to a longer WR. So you have to like him at New London if he feels the same way, because he's always been pretty solid at that course. But I feel like the way that Ivy Hill has shaped up now, I don't think it's going to play as a specialist course the way it might have if it were a little bit looser and let people really unload. I think that course is going to play like a Winthrop does. So I think in that sense, maybe I do lean a little bit towards New London, but I don't think that one course or the other is really going to jump out at certain people.
No, I think a player like Ricky, who's really well balanced, is gonna succeed out here. I think he's gonna do very good. Obviously, this is the one he has circled on his calendar: 7-year major drought. He's a 2-time world champ, looking for number 3. This would feel great to do it here, obviously, and I think both courses are gonna play to his game just fine. Because I think that there's going to be some players who are going to struggle at New London and they might succeed a little bit more at Ivy. I think both are going to favor the guy who plays strategic, know when to push on the gas golf. And I do feel like recent Ricky, that's him.
Yeah.
So I do think that Ricky's going to play really well. But another guy that I'm really confident is going to play well out here is Paul Macbeth. We have a Paul Macbeth inspired, I'm calling it, course in Ivy Hill, and then a Paul Macbeth designed course in New London. And both of them, I think, suit his game really well. Obviously, New London, he's going to know better than any pro out here. There's no way around it. He's designed this course and played it more than anyone else that's in the field, most likely, or at least has like a chance to win. I'm sure there's people in the field who've played it more than Paul, but they're probably in the B pool. And then
hit him with it.
Ivy, I bumped into Paul in the clubhouse yesterday, and I asked him, like, hey, you just played Ivy, like, how do you feel it came together? And he goes, I absolutely love this course. He said it's perfect. He's like, I was, he was one of the ones that was telling me, like, it's not a course that you just grip it and rip it. Like, you have to be very strategic placement shot wise. You have to pick your spots to attack. And I think that also suits Paul. I think both Ricky and Paul, as they've matured in their career, have also matured in their strategy golf wise, which, to be fair, a lot of the tour has. But Worlds Paul is always a different Paul. And I'm going to keep leaning on that until I can't.
Did you guys see the outside the cone flavor?
Yeah, mint beast. Mint beast. I went there yesterday. Sorry, Paul, not a big mint guy. They had a Muddy Buddy flavor. Had to go with Muddy Buddy.
Ooh,
oh, dang,
hater.
Yeah, but there was a mint beast flavor.
It's definitely the all eyes on Paul event for sure. It's going to be like, I really hope he can get into it just because the crowd will be very live.
Yes.
If Paul is
this is going to be a hometown crowd for Paul.
Yeah.
There's a lot of Paul fans in this area.
This is definitely some Paul country.
I can't help. I always think that I go into, like, whenever I watch a tournament, I think that I'm going into it, like, really, really liking one player. And then I see Paul and my eyes just turn to stars. And I'm like, oh my gosh, Paul Macbeth. And then it's like I'm brand new into disc golf all over again.
There you go.
He just has me.
Now,
there's a lot of players out here this weekend that have you.
Yeah, because what if Ezra Robinson?
That's
here's a question.
No, do you guys
Ezra Robinson,
you
Paul
guys
Macbeth,
get the same way though? Like whenever you see Paul play, you're like all of a sudden you're just kind of like, oh, remember though, I'm a huge Paul.
It depends who he's against.
Okay,
because there's certain players that I'm like if it was Paul and Gannon battling, I'm just rooting for good golf.
I'm just so used to
if
hating
it's Paul versus
Paul's
if
playing.
it's Paul versus Ricky, then the 2015 and me comes out and I'm like, Ricky can't
that
win
would be
this.
exciting.
But if it's Ricky versus anyone else, I'm like, I'm rooting for good golf. It's just like that rivalry reignites and it's just like start something back in me. I'm like, argh.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Growling.
I'm with you. I'm with you.
At the end of the day, we won a close finish.
We went to
USDGC. That was the last event we all attended together, and the finish was not super exciting. Shout out Kyle Klein, great win, but it wasn't a super exciting finish. So we want. I want to play.
I feel
we haven't had a single MPO playoff this year.
I feel like this event does suit for a close finish, simply because both courses are scoreable, but very tough.
It just it all depends.
People can get hot, people can get double digits, but I think it's going to be hard for people to consistently get double digits. You could have a guy shoot 12 under at a course and then shoot 4 under the next day. Like that's a very realistic one too.
Depends who has that lead final round.
It's gonna be a really
if we
fun
give Gannon
Worlds.
like 2-3 strokes going to that final round, pack it up. There, I said it.
Okay, we'll see.
Dang,
you cannot let that guy get into cruise control. You have to make him uncomfortable. We saw it at European Open, and now Ricky made a close attempt at that one. But Gannon is not necessarily if he is in it at the end, he does not feel like a guy who's just going to collapse.
The final guy in MPO I want to talk about here is Calvin Heimberg. Obviously, every major we talk about him. I will say I was watching the Skins match a little yesterday. I don't know how I'm feeling about Calvin. It was Skins match. He wasn't taking it super serious. Whatever. It could be something with that. His putt just looked a little yippy. It looked a little shaky.
You know what's interesting is especially last season, Calvin was playing so well that coming into every major, you had to be like, well, Calvin's been playing great golf. He's got to be in it. This year he hasn't been nearly as consistent. So. That's either now there's really no chance of winning a major, or is it like this is just going to be the anomaly spark win and it's just going to come out of nowhere? I really can't tell.
I think his game's going to suit well to both courses.
I definitely don't see it happening.
I don't. I see it suiting too many other players. I mean, heck, I think the Robinson brothers, both of them, have a really solid chance too this weekend.
Yeah.
I think there's
too many guys in form.
I think there's too many guys that are hot right now. Chris Dickerson, another guy, where these courses just suit him.
Yeah, too many players are.
Calvin's
playing well right
not a guy that I think in my head when I think of New London or Ivy. I think, oh, this course suits Calvin super well. I think it does. It just suits a lot of other players better in my head. So
more suits,
a lot of suits. FBO wise, Kristen Tatar, big storyline, obviously going for her 3rd world championship. Just get married recently. I think she got in town like a few days ago.
Let's do a prediction.
This is her honeymoon tournament.
That's true.
Yeah, Lynchburg, Virginia, number 1 spot to honeymoon.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, apparently she practiced New London on Friday morning. Let's do 2 predictions here.
Okay.
Number 1, how many times does the FPO lead change? And then number 2, how big of a lead in FPO at any point in the tournament will be surrendered?
Okay. Well, first off, did you see the stat that Disc Golf Pro Tour posted?
I don't know.
It was Kristen's finishing place over the last 10 rounds at Worlds. So basically both of the last Worlds.
All
first.
Yeah. Well,
she's held the lead. I think she went wire to wire
back-to-back Worlds.
I think so.
Crazy.
Yeah. So she has held the lead for the last 10 rounds at Worlds.
Could happen for sure, but
I'm saying it's going to happen again.
Okay.
I think both courses suit Kristen Golf well.
I think the lead changes 6 times.
Well, you mean like middle of the round or like after rounds?
It's gonna be at any point.
Because I think she'll give up the lead at some point in the middle. I'm saying I think she finishes every round in the lead.
Okay, I'm saying at any point in the tournament.
I think it switches. I think it's other than when she starts, right? Like round 1, you can't have lead changes.
Yeah, I would say from round 1, round 2 on.
I'm gonna give it 2.
2
yeah,
from round 2 on.
I'm gonna give it 2.
I think it changes 6 times from round 2 on, and I think the largest lead surrendered at some point is 7.
Okay, do you agree with the statement that Kristen Tatar is the favorite?
Yes.
So who do you think has the best chance at beating her?
Nobody.
Best chance?
None of them.
No, like the best, like there's, even if it's 0.001, the best chance at beating Kristen. I have a sneaky pick.
Oh.
Yeah.
5 rounds is a lot of time.
It's a lot of golf.
It's a lot of time.
Golf.
Probably, I don't really like to say Evelina just because her putt is so bad, but she has already proven herself at a major already. It's less of a throwy major, though, than like Champions Cup was. I would say Holland Hanley.
Okay, I'm actually going Evelina. That's where my head went.
Yeah,
mainly because
it could happen. Anything can happen.
I think with the woods and the OB, because the woods aren't like tight woods. We're talking open woods. I think it is a throwers major, especially on FPO. I think it's not going to come down to putting near as much. I think that there's just not going to be that many looks for birdie overall. And so I think that it's not really going to be one of those courses where everyone's getting looks. It's whoever converts the most. It's like you got to give yourself the most looks. Yeah. And if you're Evelina, convert on 60% of them.
It's just if you're Evelina and if you lose 12 shots on the green to putting, like to Kristen, you need to beat her by 12 shots throwing. And I don't know that's going to happen. Or ultimately we might look back and the OB strokes might be a big part of that.
That's where my head's at, is the OB strokes. I think
we'll see.
So now let's get into our picks. Going into this, I just did the points. Trevor has a 5-point lead on me. I think it was 98 to 93. Yeah. I thought I copy and pasted it over, but
it was
I didn't.
on here.
But Trevor has a 5-point lead over me going into this. Majors are worth double. We normally do picks on the preview show, so we'll have Konner submit your picks if you want to. You don't have to.
Oh shoot!
You don't have to.
I'll just do it
on the spot.
Maybe I'll just choose a winner.
Okay, perfect. So MPO, my picks. I'm putting Paul McBeth in 3rd.
Okay.
Ricky Wysocki in 2nd, and Gannon Burr taking it down.
I have the same picks. Dang. That's called defense.
Konner, who do you think?
I did not know his picks ahead.
I'm gonna go.
Who do you think wins?
Good defense there.
I'm gonna go. Ezra Robinson
wins
3rd.
Okay.
I want him to win because I really like him now. And then Paul McBeth, Gannon Burr.
Okay. Now FPO,
Would you like a chance to change one of your MPO picks? If I said
one of my MPO picks.
If I said I'll let you change one to try and get some.
I'll flip Ricky and Paul.
I don't know if I like that necessarily.
You gave me a chance to change it.
You're right. I did. Fair enough.
Yeah, I'll flip Ricky and Paul.
Okay.
That way I
like keeping things interesting.
That way I at least have a chance for points.
Yeah.
Some points.
We do have different.
FPO, I'm taking Kristen Tatar to take it down. I'm taking Evelina Solon in 2nd, and I put Holland Hanley in 3rd.
Okay. I've got Kristen winning. I got Holland in 2nd, Missy in 3rd.
All right.
I mean, well, I can't spoil what happened. We did film with Missy the other day, and she played pretty well through like 6 holes in New London, so the bias is real. Filming with these pros beforehand is just cementing some crazy bias in my brain.
Luckily, I didn't film with her, so I don't have bias.
Luckily, the main bias I have is that Gannonburg is incredible, but that works out. That works out all right.
I am going to go Kristen, Evelina, Missy.
All right.
First
and my dark horse pick outside the top 30 Pro Tour standing is Bradley Williams.
Ooh.
Mr. Mustache.
Officer
Give
Williams.
him to me. Officer Williams.
I will take Emerson, Ember Daddy Keith. Big Silas.
Cy Guy.
Yell at him.
Do you want to pick a Silas Selects?
Oh, heck yeah, he says.
Here, what we'll do, Silas, once you grab the disc, just yell that you have it, and then as you bring it in, we'll make our guesses.
Okay.
Who's excited, man? Who's
I'm
excited?
Trevor.
If you see us on the course this week, make
All right,
sure
Silas has it.
come say hi. Don't yell at us if somebody's putting though, please. Come say hi.
I think Silas grabbed an AVR.
Oh, you're just not going to show it to us?
Not yet.
Well, we'll close our eyes and you can hand it to Hunter.
Well, no,
so
he's
there's
just going to
still
give it to us
suspense.
after we guess.
Yeah, everyone guess.
I know, but I like the suspense of you feeling it because then you can kind of like get your heart can jump. What did you guess?
AVR.
What did you guess?
I think it's got a bead. I'm reading bead.
Okay.
I think it's a, but I think it's a bounty.
Okay. Does a bounty have a bead?
I don't know.
I think it is a.
Do we have bounties?
No. Can I change mine?
No.
No, it could be from the U section.
I think there's a bounty in the U section that was there like 3 weeks ago.
Give me an Omega.
Omega.
Oh, he's got it on his shirt. Perfect.
Hunter
and I were
was
close.
No, I was.
I was
close. The beadless putter, you ding dong.
I was close. I got dynamic.
That's true. We all were close
We all were
in some
close.
respects.
If you merge all of them together, you come
We
up
were-
with
yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure.
It was a Warden.
we had it
Audio
surrounded.
listeners.
Oh yeah.
We had
Yeah.
it surrounded.
It was
All right.
yellow.
Well, that wraps this up. Don't forget, we will be doing a round 1 recap and round 2 preview, and then round 2 recap, round 3 preview, round 3 recap, round 4 recap. You get it. Every morning, that'll be coming out. It'll be for MPO only, just because we got to turn it around in the morning, and so by the time it comes out, FPO lead card will probably be teeing off. So we'll probably go over what FPO did the day before, but the preview show will just be for MPO. So check that out on our Grip Block podcast channel everywhere, and we'll hopefully see you out here this week. Spell you then.